Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar'S, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So ultimately, I don't want to talk too much about coin market caps, prices, and things like that. Like right now, we are seeing a pullback. I will say this though. I want to give out a major warning for everybody who is getting possibly a little bit bullish on the market. Maybe you think that the bottom's in, whatever the case may be. Could the bottom be in? Sure. I do think that the bottom could possibly be in, but honestly, I'm not going to try to sit here and say, hey, the bottom is in, because I think that it is extremely illogical to try to call a bottom, especially with so many factors playing into this. I want you guys to understand and be aware that on Wednesday, we do have an inflation number for June coming out from the Fed. We also do have an FOMC meeting coming up. We also have a GDP report coming out. And I do think that there's a consumer index report also coming out. So please just be aware of all of that going forward, because all of those are factors that could play into volatile price action around this market. And right now, I still am waiting for some nice lows on HBAR to be targeted. If we can come down to roughly, if we go back to the all-time chart here, if we can come down, and I know that this is going to be crazy for a lot of people, but if we can come down and test this 4 to 5 cent region, that's going to be something special. And that's what I'm waiting for, honestly, because not only is it a very easy 10x opportunity, but the upside from that range is insane. And the reason why I mention that, right, is because I want to share with you guys Solana. So, and this is not like me saying, all right, well, because Solana can do it, so can HBAR. No, in fact, the reason why Solana did so well, and also, by the way, this is going off of the nice little pump that I had back in August 2020, and here's that drop that we seen as well. So, this was about roughly a 24,000% of an increase in price. Now, what really kind of led into this? Well, it was more so, a few factors. One, their marketing team was absolutely insane. They killed it fully. And also too, they started to have a ton of developer, apps launching. There's a ton of developments happening on Solana. The NFT sector itself, was huge for Solana. That really kind of made it, I would say be massively adopted, because again, it really kind of was leading the way just right behind Ethereum. Now, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I talked to you guys a little bit about it is, even if we went off of, for example, the lows from May of 2020, this was about a 51,000% move altogether. If we go back to HBAR, for example, so we actually have the price range going back to the area of March, or I kind of go off of the March of 2020 point. But we can kind of go off of the range that we have back there in regards to support. And again, I don't like to say all right, well, what if we did do a 20,000% run, or a 50,000% run? Because I don't think that that is quite possible on the next cycle run. For example, this would be about a 50,000% run. It would be sitting at about almost $15. Do I think that that's possible next cycle? I wouldn't be betting on that. To me, I think that that could happen long term. But again, as you guys do see on the chart, my personal areas of focus. So first off, if we can come down to test this January candle at about roughly 4 cents, which I'm expecting to see a 33% drop still on HBAR, that's great, because my target has always been the $3 to $6 range, which this would be about a 72x opportunity. Funny enough, right, if we go over to Solana's market cap, so this was the market cap at its all-time high, $89.5 billion. I share with you guys this again because HBAR, at its current price, this would be a 65x opportunity, aka $4 and almost 20 cents. Now again, like I said, if we can get down to this range, which would be almost it's almost 4 cents exact, it's 418. This would be a 100x opportunity on HBAR if we can get down to this range, because again, this is going up to $4.18. It would be a 99x opportunity. So that's what I'm waiting for, to see if we can get down to that range, because I think that this is extremely possible. I honestly, if we were looking at the market cap ranges of the top 10 tokens, or even the top 15, this market cap is not unlikely next cycle, especially if we are talking about crypto itself, a large amount of the money that will flood into, crypto over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, etc., is all going to be from one, like individuals jumping into the NFT scene, also like Web3, DeFi, and that is all being built out on Hedera right now. Like HBAR, like Hedera itself is expanding greatly, and again, like HBAR powers everything on Hedera. So when we are talking about like something like Saucer Swap, for an example, which is launching like DeFi protocols and DeFi, sort of use cases on Hedera, I think that this is a great use case to put a spotlight on. I think that what they are doing is great, but also this is just like the bare minimum. There's a ton of other things happening on Hedera as well, and even like the NFT sector, which I have been putting a spotlight on my NFT channel, is exploding in growth and adoption. And again, those are like the same exact things that put, Solana on the map. All we really need is to see Hedera market this. And I've always been extremely critical of Hedera's marketing because I just don't think that they market enough. And that's totally fine. You don't need to market something that is working. And so, like, I see a lot of people kind of put like an excuse on it, like, HBAR doesn't, or like Hedera doesn't care about building the hype around, HBAR and Hedera itself, which I get it. I understand that. But again, they should be trying to play into that aspect. And they did do a great job at, NFT NYC, which I thought was great. But again, we still want more marketability around Hedera itself and a lot of these use cases. But we have been seeing them really kind of put out some news. Like, for example, they did put a spotlight on SB Group, for example, talking about the stablecoin transfer that they did back in, I think it was like January or so. And here you guys do see like the stablecoin, transfer. You see the fiat account to fiat account here. They also do have like a few other ones here. Like here's the Standard Bank and Shinhan Bank sort of mechanism within this. And of course, you do see Hedera at the bottom here in regards to like a stablecoin remittance payment. And here's the POC results. So you see international wire transfer, and then you do see like the stablecoin transfer, which I think that this is actually pretty interesting because we have been seeing like the Fed and government officials kind of pivoting away from like, CBDCs and talking more so about like stablecoins and utilizing stablecoins in general, which I definitely think could be something special. Also, I don't really like to put like a price range on, HBAR if we could get to the point of like mass adoption around like stablecoin remittances and stuff like that. But it definitely is something special. And here we have them talking more so like Standard Bank SB Group remains at the forefront of research and development of blockchain and DLT in the African context, committed to the exploration of efficient digital payment rails and financial services that enable African commerce to flourish. And of course, like I said, they are focused in this area on things around the financial services, around like the financial sector. So to me, like Hedera is a clear winner in that aspect. And it's funny because I actually have this tweet from Zepsi going back to January of this year, where he basically mentions like HBAR and global finance, a thread. One of the major Cardano, narratives is banking the bankless in Africa. What many don't know is that HBAR is already leagues ahead in this field following the successful stablecoin POC carried out by Standard Bank, biggest bank by assets in Africa. And of course, he mentions a whole bunch of other things around this. Like for an example, this POC was an overwhelming success. Stablecoins are, however, just a single facet of SB's plan for Hedera. This video from July 2021 outlines plans for tokenized commodities, self-sovereign ID, bond exchange, central bank, stablecoins, commoditizing, agriculture as well. And there's so much more to this. I mean, like, this is a huge thread. You could also find this thread under this initial tweet from the HBAR Foundation if you guys do want to read more about it. Here's the response. But it's funny, right? Because we are, we're in a very speculative market. I remember ADA being shilled so much around like being the coin of choice for like Africa, banking the bankless in Africa, and a lot of like the hype around ADA for the most part has been built upon nothing. And again, that's not me like coming after ADA. It's just like it's actually the truth. But it's funny because ADA did not have any issues going on a massive run. Remember, I shared with you guys this in a past video as well. Now, of course, this is what I expected to happen, but, it didn't really happen. We kind of fell short a little bit of this. But here we have, that percentage run from March of 2020 to the high point that we recently just seen during, August of 2021. This was about an 18,500% run. Coincidentally, though, we are basically at this bottom range here on, so ADA came down to like 1.5 cents almost. The support range on this was like 2.5 cents, but a lot of people were really kind of aping into ADA during this entire time back in 2020 and 2021 off of like, a ton of hype building around it, speculation as well, and it did a massive run. And the funny thing is that like ADA has a very, very similar supply to Hbar. Now, when we really kind of look at this, right? So we came up to like about $3.20 on ADA. Here is $3.20 on ADA, a market cap of $108.2 billion. Again, I share with you guys this because, circulating supply-wise, it's a very similar circulating supply. They're at 33.8 billion in regards to ADA out there. Hedera has 21 billion, for an example. If we had that same market cap of, ADA at its all-time high, we would have a 79x from our current range, or about a $5 Hbar. Now, do you realize why I've always said like $3 to $6 to me on Hbar is pretty conservative when you look at these other tokens that aren't really. Again, I don't want to like say like Cardano did not build anything. I'm just saying like a lot of the hype around it that we did see kind of building on Twitter and YouTube was kind of built off of nothing. Remember, right? Like we've seen so much coming from Hedera. I know that a lot of people, like including myself as well, is a little bit frustrated on like the lack of live projects on Hedera. It is a major issue, but as long as we are seeing building happening. That's all that I really kind of ask. And that's what I really kind of want, is just transparency on what's actually being built. Now, of course, here is the ServiceNow announcement, right? Enterprise applications, enterprise organizations are embracing disruption by incorporating Hedera into their ERP, CRM, EAM, HCM, and other SaaS, offerings to deliver the benefits of decentralization. Join Hedera on the, enterprise application partner for exclusive access to technical development and architecture support. And of course, we have, the ServiceNow breakdown over here. But funny enough, like this is from their video going back to April of 2021. This is their use case with SLAs, with ServiceNow and Hedera. Now, of course, when we look at this, we have example, use, and value. So notarized workflows, tokenized data, decentralized identity, and enterprise sync. These are the use cases that I'm actually, paying attention to. I don't really care about like, hyped up substance that really isn't there. This is what we want to actually see because again, I've always said having technology from the, crypto space at the, I would say like the underwhelming technology layer behind everything that everyone really just kind of looks, over is huge. Because again, remember, like I've always said that crypto for the most part will be utilized by every single individual without them even knowing it. And this is what we will basically see is these layers that are overlooked that are utilized on a day-to-day basis. For example, we do see like opportunity and size, enterprise sync, global decentralized message bus, leverage Hedera to enable trusted, secure message flow between disparate, corporate systems and partners. Reduce the cost and complexity of deployment. Improve, trust between partners from smallest grower to largest conglomerate. And of course, we do see the global decentralized business network engages customers and businesses of all sizes. And you do see the opportunity and size over here. It's a pretty large area to really kind of focus on. And a lot of this is just reducing time. Like, for example, like decentralized identity, reducing time to hire, better control and verification of rights to resources, increased reach. You do see, like, build a more engaged community, monetize services. Like, all of this is very large in the idea of, like, where we could really kind of disrupt. And also, like, this is huge when you kind of look at, like, what sort of areas this is going to disrupt. We've talked about ServiceNow in the past. Like ServiceNow is a very large, company. It's a very, huge area to really kind of focus on simply because like ServiceNow is a part of like the Fortune 500 tech stack. So they do have like connections to many players. But this does go on to like mention other things. Like for example, here's like an SLA audit services. There's a large amount of this. Like, for example, the market is at $277 billion in 2020, projected to be $356 billion in 2025. That's just like one market that we're going after. And it's crazy, right? That like some of these markets that we really kind of target on a day-to-day basis from Hedera's side, like some of the markets are very complex to understand to like the naked eye, if you will, if you don't like know a lot of the technology stack that could possibly be disrupted around this. But if you know like how corporations and businesses work, like the use cases that Hedera is really kind of providing to something like ServiceNow is extremely disruptive, not only in the savings and things like that around like the use cases, but just like the sheer amount of disruption that it will cause within a large amount of these, areas, specifically around like the enterprise sector. So this is what I'm actually looking forward to seeing, like use cases like this actually going live. Things like this will take time, but you could definitely see like the opportunity and size that Hedera is targeting within a large amount of these use cases, which I'm very excited for. And again, it really kind of proves the fact that like HBAR at some point in time will get to the $3 to $6 range. Obviously, I expected it a lot sooner, but it is what it is. This market, I can't move this market to a certain price at all. If I had my choice, HBAR would be trading at about $3 right now, but it is what it is. We have to be patient. We can only kind of go off of past patterns and past cycles. So let's see what happens. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.